How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation. This is a prequel to Night of the Living Dead 3D, and although I don't really go out of my way to spoil things, it'll be very hard to talk about the plot without revealing what is revealed at the end of Night of the Living Dead 3D. However, that's not a very good movie, so don't worry too much about it. This is once again directed by Jeff Broadstreet, who directed the original, and stars Andrew Divoff as Gerald Tovar Jr., and horror icon Jeffrey Combs as Harold Tovar. Which I guess is something I should begin with. This movie, they change who plays Gerald Tovar Jr. In the original, it was Sid Haig here, Captain Spaulding. I guess they couldn't get him back, and they cast someone who looks nothing like him and acts nothing like him. I thought this was going to be a different character. Like, I thought it was maybe going to be Gerald Tovar Sr., who is revealed to have been dead in the original movie. But then they said Jr., and I said, wait a minute, and I looked into IMDb. I paused the movie right there, looked at IMDb, and saw that, yes, in fact, these are supposed to be two actors playing the same character, but it really doesn't come off that way, which, whenever you have to pause a movie and check something on IMDb because it doesn't make sense, great start. But anyway, his father recently died. He is taking over the mortuary, but there's one problem. He has a fear of fire, and then in turn has not been cremating any of the bodies. In addition to that, the government, he doesn't have a certification for his funeral home, so every now and then vague yet menacing government agencies ask him to dispose of something in his crematorium that they don't want to get out. Now, weirdly in this movie, because it's very slow and the characters don't have much to do, they could have shown the chemical getting there, but that's already happened. Like, I don't know why this scene wasn't included. I guess because they want to say that it takes a really long time to reanimate a corpse that wasn't alive, but there's not much to do. They could have at least shown the original formula chemical getting there. Instead, they show the government people come by trying to drop off something else, and they send them away. It's a weird thing. But anyway, after being alone for a little while, his brother, Howard, played by Jeffrey Combs, shows up, and he's a kind of a gun-toting conspiracy nut. Now, if you know Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator, and if you're wondering why this is called Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation, it's because they got the actor from Reanimator in this movie. But he's known for being this guy that can pull off awesomely creepy characters, but they don't write this role to play off of his abilities. In fact, they don't give him terribly much to do, and they don't make this character as extreme as they could have. And it really felt like they were wasting Jeffrey Combs in this movie. Give Jeffrey Combs something to do, something to be creepy, and a role to really chew on. Instead, they gave him a really flat role with nothing to do. He is probably after his brother's money, but by the time it gets to that, it's almost all over. So anyway, while that all's going on, they hire a new morgue worker, and I guess I should get into the two really big faults with this movie. Some people may thought I was going too easy on Night of the Living Dead 3D. I said it was essentially a B-grade zombie movie that wasn't that great. If you don't compare it to the original, you can be fine if you're just looking for something to watch, but overall really not that good. Part of the reason why I was being kind of lenient is I knew we had to get to this one, and the strangest thing about this one is that it makes the original look better somehow. The two big faults are it's incredibly boring. The zombies are, for the most part, locked in the crematorium room, and in turn they can't really get out and do fun zombie things. Every now and then, to kind of subjugate the fact that the zombies aren't getting out, they simply show you the zombies in the crematorium, or maybe he takes a video of them and watches it. There's actually one part that didn't translate from the script. In the script, he's looking at the video and he's going, I didn't notice the moving till it was in fast forward, and he shows them fast forwarding the video. But rather than just, it should have been like a hand moving, something small that you would have to watch and fast forward to notice. But no, the zombies like get up off their tables and start walking around. I'm like, you didn't need fast motion to notice that. Just weird little errors in the script. But yeah, there's too much talking about, oh, what to do with the morgue since Dad died, and then there's like a long scene where all the morticians are just getting high instead of doing work, and that goes on for a while. So yeah, this is very boring. It's also very stupid. For example, this is a prequel to a remake of a Romero movie, and Jeffrey Combs is in there talking with his brother, and he asks if the zombies are fast or slow, and the guy goes, well, they're slow because they're dead, kind of a variant on, oh, they're slow, they're all messed up from the original. I probably misquoted that, but after hearing that they're slow, Jeffrey Combs says, ah, Romero zombies. Now this is jarring to hear the word Romero in the Romero zombie universe, or multiverse, but if you remember the prequel, they were watching the original on TV trying to be a charming homage, so it is canon that Night of the Living Dead exists as a movie in this universe, so overall, I would give it a pass. But then, Jeffrey Combs goes on to say, yeah, it happens in cities sometimes and the government covers it up. And then he talks about all four of the movies, the big ones before this. He talks about Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and even the Tony Todd remake from 1990. And that's where it just gets really extreme. Like, in the last one, if you remember, I thought it was far-fetched that there was a movie and then things started mirroring what happens in the movie. But you're telling me the events of Night of the Living Dead were not only a movie, but they also happened in real life, and then they happened in real life again, and they're about to happen in real life yet a third time. And also the government can just cover all this up. That is beyond unbelievable. Amongst other stupid stuff, they're actually watching TV, and there's a Sarah Palin parody character called Sister Sarah, and yes, they should have realized that that joke would be quite outdated in a couple years. It's actually quite weird to look at a Sarah Palin impression in 2020. It's like, that dates your movie terribly, guys. But then, to make it even stupider, she just happens to be driving by and winds up in the real film. I couldn't help but feel like this was like something that an animated sitcom would do. You know how in animated sitcoms they watch characters on the TV and then they just appear in the show? That's a cartoon, though. This is a live-action zombie movie. On top of all the stupidness, the zombies don't look as good, and there's some pretty bad special effects. Overall, I definitely wouldn't recommend it. There's also a missing scene during the climax of the film. They finally go into the crematorium room, but they do that because someone gets pulled in there. But you don't see that, you just hear about it. I'm like, wait, did they forget to shoot the scene where that person gets pulled into the crematorium? It's actually several characters. You just hear about it happening. I'm like, there's a scene missing from this movie, and it's obvious. Overall, I wouldn't pay too much money for this, and I wouldn't recommend this to really anyone but the die-hard horror geeks that want to see everything. Like, if you're one of the people like me, and you're going to watch all 25 Romero Zombieverse movies plus the 2 noteworthy alternate cuts, then yeah, you can go ahead and watch it, and maybe if you find it streaming, it's on Prime at the moment, but things leave from Prime so quick, and it may not be by the time this gets uploaded, because it'll probably take a while to publish this, but if you see it for streaming, and you really have nothing else to do, you can watch it then, but this isn't great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's a zombie movie where the zombies are locked in a room for most of the movie. Anyway, there are a bunch of other Romero zombie movies, and I hope to watch a better one next time. I don't like being negative, but I really couldn't say it any other way for this movie. Anyway, I'd like to thank everyone who's liked and subscribed. You guys help the channel out. And I'll be back soon, hopefully with a good Romero Zombieverse movie. I don't know what's up next, but anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. See you next time.